am stuck in this identity.
It's not my true self and, at the same time, I have no clue who or what this true self is anymore.
Let me start with this statement: the I is not the identity you currently express.
Identity is only the temporary focus of the I. Identity is something like a role currently activated by the nervous system. It is constructed from memory, emotional charge, attention focus, predictions about safety.
So identity is a strategy, not your essence. A strategy. Let that sink in for a moment. It is not you or yourself, it is a strategy. Let this open your brain door. Because if your identity is a strategy, it can be updated. Your nervous system is not trying to make you happy. It is trying to make you predictable and safe. So your brain asks two questions: does this identity keep me safe?
Does it cost the least energy to maintain?
If an identity answers those questions, your brain keeps it, even if it causes suffering. This is why you stay in painful identities. When you propose a new identity, your brain does not evaluate it morally. It evaluates it biologically.
Your brain asks, is this new version of me predictable? If the answer is uncertain, your nervous system interprets it as risk. And risk triggers emotional signals like anxiety, doubt, shame, fear of rejection.
So resistance to change is not weakness. It is prediction protection. Once an identity exists, your brain begins filtering reality. It looks for evidence that confirms the identity. Example: identity, I'm not good enough.
The brain automatically highlights criticism, rejection, mistakes,
and ignores appreciation, success, acceptance. This creates the illusion that your current identity is true. But it's actually a perception filter. Reality always contains multiple potential interpretations. The brain selects only one. So the world you experience is not the only version available. It is simply the version that matches your current identity.
Here is the shift we have been describing with the stability field theory. Emotional safety alone does not create transformation of identity. Because your brain associates safety with a known identity. Transformation requires something else.
That something is curiosity.
Curiosity tells the brain, exploration is not danger. Curiosity opens the door to new predictions. This is why curiosity is the partner of emotional safety.
When you consciously and curiously ask a question like, what if I'm more capable than I believed?
What if my worth was never the issue?
What if rejection doesn't define me? The brain begins scanning for evidence that answers the question.
Questions redirect attention. Attention redirects perception.
Perception reshapes identity. The identity you are protecting was originally created to keep you safe. But if it only leads to exhaustion, loneliness, or emptiness, then the strategy is outdated. Be honest. It does not make you happy, peaceful, and feeling loved at all. Your current and old identity is not wrong.
Just outdated.
So the real question becomes, is this identity still serving the life I want to live?
If the answer is no, your brain becomes open to updating.
The shift happens in small steps. Not replacing your old and current identity instantly, but by running small experiments. For example, old identity, I must please people to be accepted. Experiment, what happens if I say one honest thing today? The nervous system learns through experience. Each safe experiment weakens the old prediction. The self is not limited to the identity you currently express.
Identity is simply the version of yourself your brain has learned to predict as safe.
But safety is not the same as fulfillment. When an identity leads only to exhaustion or emptiness, it is a signal that the strategy has reached its limit.
The moment you become curious about another way of being, a new potential identity begins to form.
And every small experiment with that identity teaches the nervous system that expansion can also be safe. Your current identity was designed to protect you. But protection is not the same as living.
The moment you become curious about another possibility, the prison door is already open.
And your old identity becomes a bye-bye identity.